graciously agreed to opening this exhibition, which is Kirra Australia's 100th, Kirra Galleries 100th exhibition. And without saying much more than that, I just want to give one statistic that if it's our 100th, which it is, and if on average we show about 60 pieces per exhibition, then we have exhibited so far 6,000 pieces. So, and other than that, I would like to leave the rest of the proceedings to Heidi.
I got an invitation to come along to this today and to come along and do the launch from Peter and from Barb and from the family. And we looked at my diary, and Susie, who does my diary, said, "You're a bit busy." I said, "No, I'm not too busy. It's Kirra. We're going to Kirra." So we said, no, this is important. And it's such an amazing milestone. Before I get on to the milestone, I want to acknowledge a few people here today. Of course, my parliamentary colleague, good friend, and newly appointed Parliamentary Secretary to the Arts, Mr. Craig Ondarchi, who I hope you've all had the great pleasure of meeting. But to Peter, and I'm sorry Nick can't be here, but also to Anton, please pass on our best wishes. To Suzanne Brett, to Chris Wooten, who's here from ANZ Trustees. Matthew, is Matthew here? Matthew Martin? Yeah. Oh, looking straight at you. Hello. The bright lights. To Jane from Federation Square, who I've had the pleasure of meeting, but especially to the artists, and I know many of you have flown in from interstate, and I thank you very much because this is such an important occasion for not only Kirra, but I believe also for art here in Melbourne and in Australia. This is, you're right to say, the 100th exhibition, and I think 6,000 items is quite a big call. You sold most of those?
Everyone.
It's good for business too. This is an absolute milestone for the gallery, but it's very much an acknowledgement of the Colliner family. And if people like this don't have the conviction and the love for particular pieces of art, for particular genres, then the art world is much poorer for it. And I think art glass is something that we don't see enough of. It's terribly beautiful. Not everybody wants it in their home. I've got a 9-year-old. You know, not everybody wants it in their home where it's within reach. But the value of it as a collection piece is so important. But of course, what you've done here at Federation Square, I think, is incredibly groundbreaking. In fact, I think you were the first commercial tenants here, weren't you? We actually met way back then. It's a very long, and we won't go into the story, but it's a very long time ago. And at the time, I remember marvelling at the pieces that you had on display then and saying, this is beautiful. And as a practising artist, I've got to say, I didn't know much about art and glass coming together. And I looked at everything, as I've done today, and said, this is so beautiful. And this is such an important art form. And we were just talking about the standard of art glass over the last 10 or so years. And I think it's really important to note that when you've got galleries like Kirra, it helps push artists to their limit because there is somewhere for them to display. There is somewhere that they can say this is a wonderful art form that people need to be able to see, that people need to be able to take home. I think Bill Clinton bought a piece from India, and the man's got some taste. But certainly in his art, I think he might have taste. But you know, it's reaching out to people who, and especially exactly where you are here and opposite Potter, you know, to be able to say to people, this is an art form in its own right. Look at what you've looked at over there, look at paintings, look at sculptures, look at all of that sort of thing, but now look at how beautiful art can be, as glass can be as an art form. And I think by having that ability to display and to be able to sell works, it does, as I say, push artists to their limits to say, I want to be the best, I want to be on the list of who Kirra represents and who, you know, the fact that I can actually displayed at Kirra. As a professional photographer, before I came into Parliament, I know how hard it is to be able to say, I want to be an artist and stick with that conviction. And I know that the artists here have been working, I've spoken to all of you, have been working professionally in their fields for many years, some of them more than others. But to those who have said, this is what I do for a living, thank you. And congratulations, because it's so important that it's not seen as a second job, or a third job, or something I like to do, that it is the passion of saying, I'm an artist and this is what I do. So congratulations to all of you on that. Now, 2002, it all started? Here.
Yes.
Here. Here. I mean, you were in
Southgate
before that. I want to say Southgate. Southgate before that,
Yes.
where you had good traffic flow, but not like you have here. This has meant an awful lot, I think, to Melbourne, and I don't think there'd be a single person who could say when they've gone to the NGV that they haven't noticed Kirra on the way back. So from a business sense, congratulations. Very smart move, but thank you again for bringing this to the people of Melbourne. Of course, this isn't just about Melbourne, this isn't just about Australia, but also what Kirra has been able to do in promoting Australian artists internationally, and the fact that you've been able to do that and work in collaboration with international galleries, but also exhibitions, I think is, again, another important step for our Australian artists to be able to have somebody who is such a good advocate. Just like the beautiful glass that we see before us, the arts world is forever changing, and I hope more people understand the value of what is displayed in places like Kirra, how beautiful it is, how important it is to have as part of a collection, but how stunning it is just to look at it and feel good about it. And I think that's something that glass does that very few mediums do. Every way you look at it, it looks different. So I'm going to encourage people to come in and buy a bit more glass. Is that good? Is that good? Yeah, okay. But I just want to finish off by saying that Kirra wouldn't have been as successful as it has been without the artists, without the partnerships, without the trust, without the passion, both by the artists but also by the gallerists. And it is incredibly important that that trust is there for all artists to be able to say, we have somebody who understands us and wants to further the industry and further our way of doing things. So I want to acknowledge everything that colonists have done. I want to acknowledge the beautiful artists who are here with us today, but all of those who have been part of the 99 other exhibitions that you've had here. And I'd like us to raise our glasses, if we may, and celebrate the next 100+ exhibitions here at Kirra and the Colliner family. So congratulations on a happy 100.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.